All right, so for this assignment today, you are going to be translating old school text into modern day text messaging or other kind of digital communication. Basically, just translating Romeo and Juliet into modern times. So here's your scenario. It's 2020, and Romeo can't risk setting off his parents' home alarm system to sneak over to Juliet's place. Juliet's parents are, for some reason, still paying her nanny, who watches over Juliet like a hawk, and who sleeps in an adjoining bedroom. Juliet can't even open her balcony door without waking the light sleeping nanny. Luckily, Romeo's been able to slide into Juliet's DMs. Because they can't have a nighttime rendezvous, it's your job to recreate the famous balcony scene as modern day messages between Romeo and Juliet. Your messages could be text, Instagram DMs, Snapchat messages, or any other way that teenagers communicate today. So, what you need to do is, first of all, reread Act 2, Scene 2, lines 49 through 190. And that starts on page 1068 and goes through page 1072. What you really want to look through as you look through this scene is deciding what lines could be altered into a text message that could be received today. You do not have to rewrite every single line word for word. I really want you to be aware of that. Okay, so you're really just paraphrasing, which means that you're drawing out the main ideas and you are kind of putting them into your own words. And in this case, they are into modern words. So if you click the link here, it will take you to a copy of Act 2. And then you can scroll down to page 1068. Okay, so you can see that the scene starts here with these two soliloquies. Obviously, if you want to choose to include those, you can, but I think it's a little harder to include a soliloquy since that's like someone speaking their own personal thoughts aloud. That seems like it might be a little bit harder to put into a text message, right? Because if you didn't intend for anyone to overhear it, why would you send it to them? So, where you should start, in my opinion, is line 49, which is right here, where Romeo finally talks to Juliet. So, before that, he's just been overhearing what she's saying. And then in line 49, he actually speaks to her. Okay. So, again, you don't have to translate everything. I would probably kind of go by like each time a person speaks. So if Romeo says here, I take thee at thy word, call me but love, and I'll be new baptized, henceforth I never will be Romeo. So maybe I want Romeo to send a message here, and then Juliet is speaking back. So maybe I want her to send something. You can also kind of combine things a little bit. So, if you don't see that much in this part that you think you could paraphrase, you can kind of combine it with this part and put it together to make it into a message that would make sense. Okay. Again, you do not have to translate every single line word for word. You want to focus on the main idea or the message from each time the character speaks. So you could also pull keywords out. So if Romeo is telling Juliet that she's as beautiful as the moon, then you could say, like, you're more beautiful than the moon, baby, or whatever. Okay. So really focus on the meaning, especially when you get to that figurative language. Be creative and use authentic text messaging language, but I do ask that it is still school appropriate. So, obviously, no inappropriate images. Um, you don't want to have like curse words, like really bad ones. Okay. So, be authentic without being like inappropriate for school. And then you're going to use technology to present your text messages to look like messages on an actual phone. So I have a sample here for you, and you're welcome to just make a copy of this and then edit the slides to match what you would want it to say. That would be fine. You can also do this on paper if you don't have reliable internet. Okay, so here you can see it just says who it's from, who it's to, and then like Romeo is saying, "You're more beautiful than the moon." Juliet is saying, like, "Why do you have to be a Montague?" Right, and on and on. So you can see there's like 22 slides here. That's like 11 messages back and forth. You probably want to be in that sort of like 15 to 25 message range. You don't want to go too much below that because then you aren't going to really capture what they are saying, but you don't really want to go too much above that because then you're going to be sort of like getting into where you're translating every single word. So you can make a copy of that and edit the slides to be your own. You can use, there's a couple of websites here that allow you to like generate fake text message conversations or fake Instagram DMs. So you could do that. I have even had people like, change their friend's number in their phone to be like Romeo and change their number to say Juliet, and then they text each other back and forth. So like you could do something like that. Or I've had someone like actually send the messages in a Snapchat. So it's kind of up to you how you want to do it. You can work alone if you want to. You can also choose to work with a partner. And I know that you're distance learning today, so that might work better for some of you than others. But this is a great opportunity of something that you could collaborate distance learning. You don't have to be right next to each other to be able to do it, since it's via text or via internet anyway. If you're working in on paper, you could still like text a friend and see what they think and write stuff down. So it's okay if you and one other partner have the same text conversation, but obviously it should not be the same across more than you and your partner. So if I start to see 3, 4, or people across different classes all having the same, then that's where we're going to run into a problem. So when I say a partner, I mean one singular other person, and it should be someone that you trust that's not going to give your hard work to another group, because then you will all receive zeros. So make sure that if you do choose to do a partner, that you let me know who your partner is, so that I'm not confused about why you're submitting the same work. Okay. The completed assignment is due by Friday. There's a rubric here that shows how you'll be graded. So, like I said, you want to include like in the 15 to 20 range of text, relevance and authenticity, creativity, and then use of class time. I'm actually going to take off of there since this is a distance learning day, so don't worry about that. And then again, I have the sample down here if you would like to check that out. So if you have questions, I am available by email all day long. I won't be doing any Zooms for this, but all day I will be available via email, and I will be more than happy to help.